This is John for the Everyday Fan Sports. Today I have the pleasure of being on the beat with football player Johnny K. How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I am great. Thank you for your time. I love to just jump in and talk football with you.
Sounds good.
What is your athletic background?
I did not play sports growing up, as most people usually do before they join adult sports. I wasn't allowed to play sports. I did want to get into track and basketball, but my mom did not allow me to. So I really just jumped in like when I was 21 into sports, like shortly after having my son. And I started with flag football, which was a local league. And then I had already been following the LFL as like a fan. And when I heard it was coming to my hometown for tryouts, I really got excited and went ahead and tried out. So that's kind of how I started. It was mostly flag, and then now I kind of just back and forth between flag and tackle and stuff like that.
So what made you want to join a full tackle football league?
Well, I thought the flag was quite interesting because we played semi-contact back home, and I was picking up the sport pretty fairly well at the time. My husband was teaching me. He had a very thorough background in football, so I was like, if you want to teach me, like I'm willing to learn. And then I just thought it was a good direction for me as far as physical and developing, athleticism, and I was hitting the gym, and I thought it was very interesting, and it wasn't something I was scared to try despite my size. So I committed 100%, and I loved it. I really did.
And you said you started as a fan. What were your perceptions of the league back then? And then how did it change once you actually joined the league?
I mean, yeah, I was following the league for a good amount of time. I think maybe a couple years at that time because I was still younger, but I didn't know how, broad the league really was or how detailed it was. I just know I saw it and I was like, that looks really awesome. I thought it was cool that women were playing a sport that men play. And my perception was like, that's something that, it looks good and I would definitely want to try if the opportunity presented itself. Um, and it's always different looking from the outside in versus being behind the scenes. Of course, there's always politics in sports, and there's always things behind the scenes that people don't speak on or things that the public doesn't know about, but I still very much enjoyed it as a player at the time. And there's always good to see both sides as a fan, and as a player it's always good to see both sides of things to really understand how things operate.
Sure. And I always have to ask, and I certainly mean no disrespect because I'm a huge supporter of the league, a big fan of the league. What were your thoughts on the uniforms?
I was not offended by the uniform. I'm very much like, if you work for your body, show it off, whether it be in sports or not, or I'm like, if you wear a bikini at the beach, it's like the same thing. Kind of. I mean, the league uniforms can always improve, I feel like, definitely, because every woman is a different height, size, shape. And I think they really try to put us in a box with the sizes. I'm very petite, so I can't speak for other people, but from my experiences in the locker room with the ladies and the uniform malfunctions, like a little more coverage doesn't hurt. I know they tried changing to like pants, and then the fan base was upset, but it's a lot of turf and not a lot of coverage. So we have to tape up extra bras, extra lady bottoms, just for extra protection because we're already very exposed. But I personally don't have anything against them. I just think occasionally it would be nicer to have a full top or a full bottom, like one or the other, but not just both out exposed. For the pictures and the optics, it's cool, but as far as beating each other up on the turf, I mean, we very much could appreciate, a long sleeve underneath or something else, of course.
Sure. Do you think that those type of uniforms and that type of image sometimes detracts from the actual ability that you guys, I mean, you guys are fantastic athletes, there's no doubt. Do you think that kind of takes a little bit too much of the spotlight sometimes?
Yeah, of course. I think that obviously in women's sports or in that kind of uniform, there's a lot of sexualization. So more people are focused on the looks of the uniform. I know that back then when the league was started, it was more like super lingerie, like it looked just like you were going to be in bedroom with someone type of look. But I think the image has changed a lot, but I think it still could continue to change because I know a lot of women in different leagues in different states that do wear the full suit like the men would. And, I feel like they don't get as much attention because they're not showing skin, but we're very much athletic and athletes and, doing the same hard work that anybody else would put in. It's just, it does take a little bit of that focus because some people are there just to look at us and not the game, but it's hard not to watch the game when you're seeing us, hit each other pretty hard and run plays and execute the game, as well as somebody who would be fully dressed in a full uniform. But, I think it could be improved, like I said, over the course of time.
No, you said that you guys work just as hard as other athletes, and I'll say that sometimes I think you guys work harder because I cover the Bliss for now the Blitz, but for many years, and I saw that they would start in January and they would practice 3-4 nights a week all the way through just to play 1, 2, 3, whatever amount of games. How hard was that for you to keep your focus, keep your mindset, for that long of a time going into then only play 2 or 3 games?
Well, I already had a similar mindset from my flag because I ran my team back home. So I was a captain, I was in charge, I had to lead by example. So me and my husband used to run the team. So we were always trying to keep everybody on pace. Like, hey, you practice how you play. A lot of the girls on our team at the time didn't have experience. So we were preaching, if you want to get better, you have to learn, you have to be active 2-3 times a week, whether it be on your own time or with the team, of course. So I already was comfortable or familiar with that mindset of, you have to put in the work to get the results. It was just harder because I was an out of town traveler athlete. So I had to proactively try to make that trip once a month to make that 3-4 day weekend practice or the big weekend practices. And I do think we do work harder than a lot of other sports. Even if it is, like you said, that 1, 2, 3 games, because we're expected to execute and to look great, whether it be on television or for the views or for the fans or for ourselves. So I think it's just a big platform and there's a lot of expectations. And I think the coaches really make sure that we are looking the part and putting in the work as athletes and mothers and, making sure we look, presentable and that all the work we put in does show on game day.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that you guys work. I saw it for years, and I've known several of the Bliss players. I followed you on social media, and you just mentioned your son. How old is your son now?
Kevin is 10. He's going to be 11 in January. He is also a football athlete,
I
very
was going
much.
to say,
He
what
loves
does he think
it.
of mom?
So Kevin actually went to my first LFL game and he was very excited. He got his popcorn with his dad and, the stands were kind of empty because it was like a new team and it was back home, but he very much supported it. I don't think he was fazed by the uniforms because he was younger and he was just like, mom's playing like, top level. Like, I don't think he judged or anything. And kids don't see that kind of stuff. I think he was just like, it was cool that I was doing it. And he still knows that I played flag and he would come to my practices. So to him, it was just like a family sport. Like dad plays, mom plays, I play. He never saw anything bad with it. And he always supported. So I wish he could have came out, to like Nashville to see me play, but it was kind of tough, obviously, given the circumstances. But I would try to have, the video sent to them and so they can support on the sidelines or from home. So yeah, it was good. He's been into football since he was 5. And he was begging to play tackle since he was 7. And we just kind of held off on it for a bit, but he's very much excelling at all levels in tackle as of right now.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I follow him. Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant no disrespect. I meant like, I would think it'd be cool as a youngster like that to have my mom out there, excelling on the football field. It's a great role
Yeah,
model.
of course. Yeah. Yeah. I think he thought it was fun and he still very much we're still a football family. So, I go to all his games and, dad kind of retired because he's a little bit older, but his dad played through college and went to a D2 school. So we all have, the background and we're now just supporting him and he's the upcoming athlete in the family. So we're going to make sure he gets to where he needs to go.
And what does it mean to you to be a role model, not only for young girls, but like you said, for your son and for other young boys? The pioneers of football, as you said, the lingerie league started as a different thing, and now it's progressing into something. Well, I think a lot better, a lot more physical, a lot more football. What does it mean for you to be part of that progression and to pass it down to future generations?
I mean, I feel honored because it wasn't something I would have even imagined as a child. Like I said, I wasn't allowed to play sports, nonetheless, a man's sport in women's, and then in in the uniform and with the with the platform that the LFL provides and at the level that we play. And I think it's a great experience. And a lot of the girls we play with are very big on the, the girls getting the role models and supporting. I know there's a couple of former teammates. I forgot the name of it's like a training camp they run just for girls
Oh,
and
wow.
just for football. And they really try to focus on drawing girls that are interested in the sport at a young age to come train and come practice and get familiar. And if that's something that they're already having in their sights, whether it be at 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, or whatever age, that they have that interest and the resources to start looking and training now. So they do want to come to the LFL or be in the WNBA or play soccer or whatever they want to play, that they know that, hey, I'm 9 years old, but these women have prepared the platform and prepared the resources for us to be able to pick up the torch, because we definitely didn't have that. And, outside of regular basketball and regular track and soccer, there was no women's football back then. Now some of the middle schools are actually providing programs for flag, and girls are allowed to join with the boys. So I feel like it's opening up the door for, girls to play a boys sport or a men's sport and not be shamed like, oh, well, girls can't play football because it's a guy sport. And we're definitely trying to get rid of that stigma of it's a man's sport, girls can't do, boy stuff. And I think it's great what we're doing. And I look forward to seeing where that goes, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. And hopefully we can see other girls play and thrive in the sport more than we were able to at that same age when we were kids.
Yeah, but you're part of the revolution. You're part of bringing that forward, and that's fantastic. I also have to congratulate you or thank you, I guess. I followed you on social media. I see you post you've posted several pictures wearing glasses and your uniform. And I think that's fantastic. Like when I was growing up, I never saw an athlete wear glasses. And I, of course, had glasses, So, I mean, I think it's cool that you're showing that, you wear glasses and you're still an athlete. I mean, have you put any thought into that, or is it just naturally you just did it?
I just had a love-hate relationship with my glasses my whole life, and I didn't have access to contacts all the times I wanted to, or I wasn't readily prepared. So I would just be out there at, practice, sweating through my glasses, through my helmet, and I'm really, really blind and I'm really nearsighted. So I really couldn't afford to practice without them, because it was like, if I take them off, I'm not going to see the ball. And then if I don't catch the ball, the coach is going to yell at me. So I very much broke a few pair of glasses for the love of football. But I don't think it was intentional. I was used to it being part of my look my whole life. I very much try to get rid of that look in the past few years, as you can tell. So yeah, it wasn't intentional, but I'm glad somebody noticed, because yeah, glasses people always get a different look or a different struggle. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I feel you, because when I was a kid, like you said, it was the same thing. Like I needed my glasses to be on the field, and then the same type of stuff. So what's in your future? Are you still playing ball?
I did not play this season. I sat out for different reasons. We did practice throughout the entire COVID, but it became financially exhausting, to travel without the uncertainty of a season. And sometimes it was like, we think we're going to have one and then we're not. So I invested a lot of time, obviously, and I moved to Tennessee recently, or 9 months ago. So I have shifted my focus. I still very much love sports. Um, but I don't know if, as far as next season goes, I'm interested in playing, but I'll see where the waves and the tide takes me. I'm just trying to build my life right now and focus on my goals. So if I can fit it in, I will. I still very much play flag on Thursday night football here in Tennessee. I play co-ed, so I'm always active in football, just not as much as I probably love to, because of the time frames and work and stuff. And we're getting older, so it's harder to prioritize a sport, especially if as far as financials goes. But yeah, I think it's still in my near future if the opportunity is fitting of my lifestyle at the time.
And when you're not playing football, when you're not, with your son, is there anything you do to unwind, to get away from everything, to chill out?
I recently, since I moved here, I picked up skating, roller skating. It's a new hobby. I hadn't skated since I was a kid, but it's very big in the culture down here, and it's very much like a regular activity here. So I skate 2 nights a week. It's still obviously physical activity and kind of like cardio, but it's not the standard go to the gym, work out, go play football. It's just a whole different hobby, and I really enjoy it. I've been learning some new tricks on skates, and I've made some new friends. So that's kind of like my new decompressed hobby, is skating. And some people laugh They think it's goofy, but if you see the videos of the people I skate with, they're very much elite skaters, and they do very interesting things that I would never think were possible on skates. So I'm just trying to hit new milestones in skating, I guess, at this point, because I always like to thrive in the things I do. And I'm like, I have to learn new stuff because I've been doing this for 9 months, and I don't have any cool new tricks to show for it.
Well, then of course I have to ask if you're skating, and I know you're an athlete, is roller derby a possibility?
That did come up. There is a few women that do roller derby nearby, and they practice at the facility we skate at. Me and my roommate contemplated on going, but I think we like missed the deadline or something. And we were still very much new at skating when the opportunity presented itself. So I was like, I don't think I feel comfortable jumping into this because, it's like football, but on skates kind of, but I didn't have the experience or the coordination at the time. So I was like, next time it comes around, in 6 months or 9 months and we get good at skating, like I might give it a shot. But
Oh,
that
that's
was like
fun.
6 months ago. So I haven't heard of any roller derby activities, but there's roller derby for women only out here. So it is very much interesting. But yeah, that's on the table too. If it comes up again, I feel way more proficient on my skates now, and I feel more confident in my skill level now.
No, you'd be perfect. Roller derby is just starting back up in Chicago. I'm in Chicago. There's several leagues going on. Actually, I'm going Saturday night to see one of the leagues. You'd be perfect for it. A top athlete. Now you're learning how to skate. You got a lot of personality, charisma. They would love you out there, and you would enjoy it.
Yeah, there's a lot of big events that happen nearby, like big skating events. So either way, the skating community is very much thriving in the South. I know they do stuff in Indiana and Kentucky, like surrounding states. They host huge skating events. So I don't doubt that it'll come up in the future, and I might give it a shot just to see how I do at it, just to try something new.
Well, before I let you go, and again, I really appreciate your time. I've had a blast talking to you. Is there anything you want to promote? Any place you want people to follow you on social media at all?
Yeah, they can follow me on Instagram. They can follow me on TikTok. TikTok is more for comedy than anything. I don't put anything serious on there.
But it's a lot of
um,
fun.
but I do post my skating activities on TikTok, and they are on my Instagram. I do have a little file now for my skating activities. So if anybody's interested, they can follow me there or on TikTok. I don't give out my Snapchat because it's more like personal. But yeah, everything is public. Everybody can follow me. I don't know how interesting my content is, but I try to keep it fun.
I have fun following you. I love the videos of you working out. I love the videos and pictures and stuff of following your son's football career. And I
Yeah, he
really
has his own Instagram. If anything, go follow my son, Quick Feet 007.
quick
He's the
feet
future.
007.
Yes, that's his Instagram. I'm trying to get it patented to see if we can make it a brand. So you heard it here first. If I get it patented, I'll send you a shirt. And
Oh,
I want
that'd
to
be
see if we can promote his
scoop. Yes.
handle. As far as the 007, I got to see like the stipulations, but technically 007 is attached to his Instagram handle. So it's not a standalone thing. So I just have to find like the logistics of if I'll get in trouble for using the 007. But we did it to be funny and it stuck really well. His dad thought of it. So I'm thinking if we can brand it and put it on a shirt and then sell the shirt with the Instagram handle, and then we can raise money for whenever he travels to tournaments and stuff. So yeah, I'm still trying to build his empire at the same time with his sports and stuff. So yeah, they can follow my son. His content is way better than mine because he scores like every time he touches the ball. He has 90-yard runs to the house every game. He's very versatile. He plays linebacker, quarterback, all the stuff, running back. So he's definitely more interesting if they want to follow good content. My son is definitely there.
Well, I encourage everyone to follow both of you. As soon as I'm done, I will be I will be jumping on to follow your son. And I make you this promise: if any of that starts to happen, and you want to jump back on here to promote it, anytime you want back on, we'll be happy to have you.
Oh yeah, you can just touch base with me, in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. He's always active. He always playing basketball, flag. I think we're trying to get him into some wrestling, possibly some track, just to switch off the football for, physical reasons for a little bit. But he's always playing at least twice a year. He'll be going to Florida. He just got invited for the Florida Gators to play in December before Christmas. So we're
Wow.
raising money for that. We're selling calendars for $20. And that's his third invite. He just got invited to Tennessee a few months back to Gatlinburg to a tournament. So he's very much getting noticed off his content, and people are excited to invite Kevin and have him on their team and have him, contribute to what they're building. So I'm excited for him, and he's doing a lot of good stuff. So we want to keep supporting him so he can continue to play, hopefully, football at the highest level when he grows up.
Awesome. Well, he's got a great role model in you. And again, it was a blast talking to you. I really appreciate your time. I thank you for everything you do. And thank you for being a role model for not just young women, but for anybody out there. And I appreciate your time, and I have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much. It was nice speaking with you. We'll be in touch soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too.